Hello everyone, Donna here from Embracing the Moon Tarot, also sometimes known on the internet as Reconnecting Readings. Today's reading is going to be a general reading on what do I need to know about connecting with spirit, or deity. However you may use the term, but the underlying message is the same. What do you need to know about connecting with deity or the divine? This is a very generalized reading, so take what resonates and leave the rest. I don't know what's going to come through with this particular reading, but whatever comes up is what we'll go with, what we'll flow with. I do believe that this reading is timeless, so no matter where you are on the calendar, I feel like if you've been guided and you've clicked on this video, there is message in here somewhere that's meant for you. So don't look at the timestamp. Allow yourself to recognize that you've been guided here for a reason. Take what resonates and leave the rest. All right, let's go ahead and begin. And let me wait for, there we go, we got it. All right, so we are starting out with the Wheel of Fortune. And so I feel like this is really tapping into that message that things come in their own time as they're meant to come. So you can't push it, you can't force it. You can engage with the energy that is in front of you. So if you're feeling inclined or feeling called or pulled toward a specific deity or divine energy, and you've been starting the process of maybe doing the research or maybe sort of actively engaging in ways that you can venerate or connect. This isn't you being forceful. This is you actually responding to something that has already presented itself to you. But the process of it is going to come in its own timing. And so you have to be open to how things unfold, how they present, and just engage as you've been doing already as it is revealed to you, as you are guided or intuitively drawn to do so. But if you are feeling that call or you're feeling that pull, again, this is being represented in the Wheel of Fortune in the sense that it's time. You've put in the work and the activity, you've put in the interest and the energy, however it applies, but you've done what needs to be done, and the time is now that it is being revealed or opened up to you, or you're being opened up to him, or maybe simultaneously you are being opened up and it's being opened up to you. However, again, you want to perceive it. It's applicable. So it's all about timing. I feel like there are some of you that are feeling called and pulled, and this is true, you are, but in the process of being called or pulled to work with the deity, you're going to have revealed to you some work that needs to be done that will allow you to be more open and more receptive to the next step of engaging with the deity that you have been called to work with. And so the deity might not present him or herself as quickly as you might anticipate, because they're going to be leading you from the shadows or from the subconscious or from the background through some things. They're going to be present. That's why you feel that call or pull, or you feel already sort of close to them. But the way you have perceived that they're going to reveal themselves, or how you perceive that you're going to work with them, they might actually have you going through some process to do some shadow work or some opening up of self before this idea or vision that you have fully manifests or fully presents itself. But it's all about timing, and the process of connection is all about timing. And I do truly believe that if you get to a point where you engage in a certain way, it's because you actually are supposed to engage in that way. You're being called or pulled. I do believe that the biggest underlying message is that sometimes we get an idea of how it's supposed to be, whether it's an idea that we've kind of manifested in our own mind, or we've just done research and we think that the divine is going to present him or herself in a specific way, that a god or goddess or deity or divine being is going to present in a specific way because this is what we have read other people's experiences to be. And I think that the Wheel of Fortune is letting you know that in time, things presents in its own way, according to the season and according to the environment. And your environment that makes up who you are and that makes up your practice is not necessarily going to match the environment of other people. And so then your seasons and what gets revealed to you might not be reflected in what you see others experiencing. And so make sure you're open to that too. Open to those sort of variables, those sort of different experiences or different ways of things kind of coming to light or being revealed to you. So essentially be open, because you might experience something different in timing, in presentation, than what you've either envisioned or you have read in your research. We're coming in with the Seven of Cups, and I feel like this is letting you know that there are many, many options. So don't stop with the research. Even though I said what I said regarding the Wheel of Fortune and how what you have envisioned that may be influenced by other people's experiences might not be how you experience it. That being said, you still want to engage in the research. If you're being called or pulled to do research to get a better understanding of a divine being that's coming through, continue to engage so that you really open up your ideas or your capacity of understanding the various ways that somebody are being may come through as. So the more you do research, you might start to understand that even though there might be a popular way for that being, that divine being, to come through and present themselves, there may be some outlying ways that that divine being may present themselves to other people. So allow yourself to do that research with that openness, that you may see something that might not be considered normal or trending or popular, but you might experience it, and that's just as good of a connection as any of the other ones that you might come across. So still do the research, but allow that research to open you up more, not limit you and as far as what is available to you. We're continuing on with the Nine of Swords, and I feel like this is just letting you know, don't get stuck though. Again, the message seems to be a repetition and some variation of being open. Don't get stuck. Don't get so fixed on a certain concept of how you think that things are supposed to transpire. Really allow yourself to be open to the various ways, and don't entrap yourself. So the Nine of Swords is coming through with don't entrap yourself. Don't entrap yourself. Don't limit yourself with other people's perceptions. This is the message is being repeated over and over again. So this is very important for you to take however it applies. It's very important for you to take and understand this. Don't limit your perception, your envision, your connection, your practice by other people's practices, by other people's concept of this is how they connected, or this is how they invoke, or this is how they pray, or this is how they do their ritual. Don't be limited. Don't limit yourself. Do the research, but allow the research to just open up what opportunities are available to you. And by doing that, you might even come up with something, as far as you might be guided towards something that no one else has ever mentioned, an understanding of the particular divine being that you're connecting with, or a way of connecting. Or you might be told to offer an offering in your practice that nobody else offers, but because it's personal to you and this being, the more research that you do and the more open you are, and the less you limit yourself by the influence of external information, the less you limit yourself, the more open you are to this divine being actually guiding you and letting you know that they want you to connect with them in that specific way, that very personal way that's personal to you and them, and your relationship between the two of you. So as you do your research, don't limit yourself. Don't get where you start to see things be presented and think that that is the only way that you can kind of connect, or the only way that you can do the practice. You don't have to copy another one. Don't limit yourself by copying other people. Allow yourself to open, do the research, and allow yourself to be really influenced by the limitlessness of what's available and what your options may or may not be. We're continuing on with the Ring of Cups. And in this particular deck, the Ring of Cups is the King of Cups. And that just realized that the R is probably actually a K. Just the way the font is made me think of ring, but let's just go with it anyway. The ring, that concept of circle, the full circle. When you think of a ring and you think of the fact that there's no beginning or end, I feel like that is kind of talking about our spiritual journey, and how no matter how much you gain, no matter how much you grow, there's really no end to it. It's continual. It's limitless. The only limitations that we have in our actual practice and our connection is the way we limit ourselves, our personal filter, and how that filter influence, or we allow our personal filter to influence our connections. So this cups has to do with our emotional well-being, but it also has to do with our spiritual connection. And so this is really coming in strong, letting you know that no matter what you gain, no matter what you do, you're always going to be growing, you're always going to be expanding. So if you're getting to a point in your practice where you think, okay, if I just do this one thing and then finally I'll have it made, I'll have it understood, I'll have it figured out, I'll have it fixed. And the truth is that our growing and our expansion never really ends. And this might be more for a few of you than all of you. Again, take what resonates and leave the rest. There are some of you who your journey might always be growing more and more. You might be exposed to more and more. You might have multiple divinities that you are going to be called to work with for various reasons. And so don't get fixated on a concept of being done or being complete or finally reaching that pinnacle or that top point. Allow yourself to realize that this is ever expanding, and it's always expanding to the level of whatever we engage with it. And so if you continue to engage, you'll continue to expand. This might mean multiple deities, but it also could mean just how you connect with your deity, be it one or just a few. It can expand again, but the only thing that limits it is your perceptions, your filter, and how you allow your filter to block or limit it. It's only limited by you, because in all actuality, the spirit and the soul and deities are limitless. We can't fathom that with our human mind, but the higher self can fathom it. The higher self understands it, that it's never, it's just ever expanding. And so your journey, your spiritual journey, your spiritual quest is ever expanding. If you really want to engage with a specific deity and your desire is to expand your personal self and your higher connection by working with the deity, or just expand that connection, that's available to you, and whatever amount you desire. It can be limitless. It can really take you on a journey where you're just growing and growing and evolving, should you decide to engage with that. So moving on, we have the Queen of Cups. And so this is tapping into that. I feel like this is coming through twofold. So it's tapping into that intuitive higher self spiritual aspect. So Queen would be the cup energy. So really tapping into that spiritual connection in cups, which is spiritual connection. So that really level of influence of the emotional influencing the spiritual influencing the emotional, and the spiritual influencing the spiritual. And the more you engage with it, the more it evolves and expands and so on. But I feel like this is also coming in strong with a lot of you, that this means that the deity that you're meant to be connecting with is a feminine deity, and most likely a mother type deity. However that applies is up to you. If it doesn't apply, just move along. If you want to, you can skip forward a couple seconds, but it's up to you. But it really is kind of tapping into that feminine energy, the divine feminine energy is what I feel is coming through with this particular cup, or with this particular card. So however that resonates, however that unfolds for you, is really up to you where you want to take that. So, yeah. Let me go ahead. All right, so the next card is the Chariot card, and I feel like this is coming in strong, letting you know that you need to be flexible and allowing there to be a healthy balance in your physical aspects of your life and the spiritual. So as you embark on this journey of really sort of engaging with deity and deity work, don't forget that your physical life is still very important, and that your spiritual journey and your spiritual connections are meant to actually positively impact your physical existence, not sacrifice the physical existence. So make sure that you have a healthy balance between the two. And even if you feel that you have a calling to do spiritual work, you still have to be engaged in a healthy way with the physical aspect. of your existence, of your life, to be a healthy coach, counselor, spiritual advisor, or whatever spiritual label that you utilize in your work. You have to have a good balance between the physical, the mundane, and the spiritual to support both, so that the spiritual supports the physical and the physical supports the spiritual. They're meant to work together in harmony. They're meant to work together so that they are helping each other, assisting each other, benefiting from each other. It's a very beautifully, harmoniously symbiotic relationship. So as you move through, make sure you're not neglecting the physical because you're so fixated on the spiritual aspect. Make sure that the spiritual focus is actually helping and engaging and promoting healthy existence within the physical, or make the adjustments that may need to be necessary for you to reach that or to experience that. All right, that is all I have for this particular reading. I hope this has helped you understand how you can go about whatever it is that you need to do regarding connecting with deity, what your process may or may not be, what your process may or may not need to change or look like, or how this may impact your practice. I hope this has just made you feel empowered and have better sense of clarity regarding this. Now, if you would like a personal reading, feel free to check out the link box below for my website. I do not reach out to you. I wait for people to reach out to me for readings. So go ahead and check that out if you're interested, along with my social links. And hopefully, like I said, this has provided you with insight and empowerment. And that's all I have for today. You have a beautiful day, and we'll see you in the next video.